Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, David.
Got us on the TinkerCAD, but that's okay.
Sneak
How's it
peek.
going? Right?
It's going. Yep. Lots of adventures this weekend. Gary gave me an awesome tour of the what is it, Proto Space in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they got two large bays in kind of industrial area in Calgary, and they've got lots of cool stuff there. They got everything you can think of, from sewing to um, lasers to woodworking to plasma cutter to CNCs, a little bit of everything. Vinyl cutters, printers, like 3D printing.
Yeah.
They got the Hell 9000 there.
Hello, Dave.
They've got it's pretty sweet. You can become a member and utilize all the stuff. You get a tutorial on the equipment that maybe you're not familiar with,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And
That
so
makes sense.
it's a beautiful, like, they've got a nice setup there. Um, Everyone seemed friendly. There was a bunch of different people using different stuff there. Everyone was friendly. It was if you're in the Calgary area, yes, you guys should. They have some open house nights and whatnot, where they kind of show people what the heck it's all about, and I think it's totally worth checking out. And Gary's in the chat today. Hey, Gary. But yeah, so that was my Friday. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like a fun Friday.
Yeah. No, it was good. So yeah. Um how about you? What was your weekend like? Did you do anything new and fun and exciting?
No, that's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Just regular weekends, I gave up on my computer stuff. I got one more that just externally blink on and off. It's very annoying. I mean, that doesn't sound great. Is it a Samsung monitor? Just saying. I'm just saying.
I have my monitor up here, and every once in a while, when my computer goes to sleep and I re-wake it up, it doesn't turn on, and then I just have to go in and adjust the frequency and then switch it forward and back, and then it turns back on. That saves me from going down and unplugging and plugging the connector. So annoying, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, I added one thing to the thingies. There's a couple things that are super quick. One's really quick. It's just worth saying out loud. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, the P1P is dead. There. Okay, see how quick that was?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not dead. It's on its 5-year end of life cycle.
Yeah. They're no longer going to sell new.
Yeah. So
Any inventory that will be sold off, kind of thing, and then that's it.
Yep.
They'll just support it with software updates and parts.
And don't panic. They said they'll support parts for a while. Bamboo Lab has always said that their printers have a 5-year life cycle. Now, I kind of disagree with that stance, just on the fact that they're not releasing a new printer version every year then. Right? Like, they're not refreshing the cycle. So I think that Bamboo Labs has, what's the word? They're not refreshing their printers enough to have a life cycle on them.
Well,
But
yeah,
that
I
being
think
said, like my 3D printers usually after 5 years are, unplugged in the corner, holding a door open.
well, I think if they announce the end of a printer, but they're going to support it for 5 years after they announce the end,
Yeah, that's
that's
pretty good.
that's all right. As long as they do that, I think that's fair,
Uh,
right?
I'm not sure. In the article, I think they said it in 5 years is the end. They're
Yeah,
not
20
announcing the end, right? So
2031 is when parts will be available till. So there you go. But they did announce the P2. So so I mean, there you go. They've got a
uh,
replacement for it. We kind of thought the end was coming.
Discord is
we
taking away
whoa,
the standard.
stop this. Sorry if that was everywhere. I don't know if that was. So I wanna talk about something bigger than any topic that we've ever covered. Um, so first off, to discuss it is going to. I'm not going to be nice to people.
Uh-oh. Oh, look
Sorry,
out.
sorry.
Controversy starts.
Yeah, and um, I'm just trying to find the name, the company that this might be not easy to find. Just,
Is
just
this something
cause
that's not in our notes?
it's a 10,000 pound elephant in there.
Well, yeah, I know. I don't see a
So
link, so I'm not sure.
it's so no, there's no link. There's no link.
Because I thought the one below it was the 10,000 pound elephant, but maybe not.
No, this is bigger. So
Oh.
all right, let's kick it off.
Raymond says the company in Spain? Question
Yeah,
mark.
yeah, that one. I can't. It's Print 3D or 3D Print or something like that. I can't quite remember. So there's a problem happening right now as we're sitting here, and the problem is always the root of the problem is always one particular country that think they can overreach and enforce their bills and
Uh-oh.
basically law on everybody.
Is it some yellow hair or orange haired dude that you're referring
So
to?
he is not responsible for the current thing. So
Oh.
what's happening? And I don't know if you've seen, but there is
Is adversarial.
a quite a lot of hubbub, shall we say. It's called Print and Go. Okay, so the hubbub is there's a misconception about with politicians, especially um in that country, that they think 3D printers are dangerous. Um,
Oh, is this the
the,
legislation they're working on
yep.
that you're
So
referring to?
legitimately, this is basically what they're trying to do. Two things, really.
We kind
One,
of talked about this.
no, is bigger than what we talked about. So the one thing they're trying to do is they're trying to make it so if you send a file to your printer or at some point in the process, and that file looks like a weapon, right, of some sort. We talked about this part, but what they're going to do, or what they want to do, is they want to detect that before it prints, and then they would not let your printer print that file.
So they wanted to put some sort of signature system or something on these files.
So
I'm not sure.
the
Or
company called 3D, or what is it, Print and Go, have a technology that will recognize shapes of a 3D print and through AI. So it's going to use AI to figure out whether you are printing these things. Now, again, like they're they're use they're using a shape.
I like
Um,
Gary's point.
yeah, and the thing is making these weapons and stuff. If you ever to like, and this is where the disconnect is. Like, if you're to actually make a plastic weapon, you're gonna get hurt. You are going to get hurt, not the other people. But so that's part of it.
Yeah.
And there's two bills in front of the US there, and one and they've already reached out to companies like I saw a letter to Creality and I think Bamboo Labs where they're basically saying, "Hey, your technology has to do this. Your printers have to have this built on board." Yeah, you could throw the link in the chat. The first one I actually saw was a 3D printing nerd. And his video is basically like, you guys don't understand anything about what you're talking about. It is like Gary says, 3D printers are just dangerous if you
So
throw them.
so do you think this is going to be like the news in Canada where you can't get it on Facebook now that you just because they're not being compatible, so like all of a sudden we'll be fine in Canada that we can do stuff,
Oh
but
no,
in the States they won't be able to print stuff
like so
unless
maybe,
unless
but I doubt
it's
it. There's been
registered.
talks about like so while there's no active bills in front of any person in Canada, there's been talk about it ever since that incident in Fort McLeod. There's been hubbub. So like one of the ideas that was floated in these bills is crazy to say out loud, but here we go anyway. If you were to want to buy a 3D printer, you would have to show government ID at a store. So you could not order online anymore. So you have to go to a store, show ID, and then there's a 2 week waiting period, just like buying weapons for a 3D printer. And then um, if anything were to match the shapes, it would stop the print. And then
So
the
so
biggest piece is they want it to work
well,
online and offline.
but I have an issue with that because
Everybody does. That's the point.
a print with a hole in it could match a shape.
Well, this is the argument. Like, like there's like this is
Or if
the
you put a
argument.
spring mount in a hole.
Yeah,
Like,
like there's many reasons why a shape may match, right? And there's many reasons that are just plain out like innocent that why they would match. But like when you think they want this technology to work online, offline, always looking for those shapes. So where does it stop then is the question, right? How far do they go? It makes it impossible. Like, what if you were actually, say, a manufacturer that's using a 3D printer to prototype these things, like attachments and that stuff, and every time you try to iterate, it just blocks you, right?
yeah, like
And
um
also, like, when was the last time you bought a bandsaw and the government went
so I think
ah?
I think they're going about it wrong. Like they would have to really go after the CAD companies, right? So that people can't design it in the first place.
Well, but there's already there's already a
Like
rule. Like there's already a rule that can't exist. That's why when you go to printables or Thingiverse or like things, you just don't find like a real like 3D printed version of those things. They're all models, like non-working replicas that you would hang on your wall or whatever you're doing with them, right? Movie prop or something.
yeah.
Um, but like again, it's the age old question of like who is the dangerous, where is the danger, and the answer is it's the person, right? We should be thinking more on like you said too, right? Like if something's uploaded to Thingiverse or printables or maker worlds, that's where the detection should be. They just keep those files out of there, right? Like it would be like trying to stop, well, what was that site called? This goes back many, many years. It's like trying to stop the Pirate Bay by yoinking the internet from out of under its feet. Right? Like it's just it's something that is very dystopian, especially when it comes to what we want to do. True that. Now, again, I think it's an overreach of one particular um country's like overtly wrong interpretation about what 3D printers are and what they're used for, right? Like the majority of us are hobbyists.
Yeah.
Um,
I think yeah, it's a handful of people in government that don't understand. They see something they can put their soapbox on and latch onto that they think is going to make a huge difference, but they don't really understand the how things works. It happens a lot with technology. You look at, they want certain, restrictions in Australia to identify, so that you can stop youth going online and whatnot, and restrict it. Well, that means you have to prove someone is who they are without proving that, without affecting them because they're underage. Like it's the same thing. It's like they don't understand that it's a very hard technical thing to do that maybe is slightly unnecessary to a
yeah,
point.
yeah. I like, and you're right. Like, and the problem with the social media thing's slightly
Oh,
um
it's different.
different, but like the thing with the um the thing with the controlling of the printer is one, if the request is truly to be fleshed out in a full way according to what they want in the bills, like the monitoring, it would be a fundamental change to the firmware of the printer.
Hmm.
So and then now this goes into stuff we've talked on the channel before, like making your own firmware. What's to
But
stop you from
it
compiling
it's open
firmware
source.
without it?
Yeah,
Well,
right now most of them
is
are
it
open source. So
the
like what's that going to mean? Does Corel, pardon me, does Corelity now have to close their printer so you can't
well
be
and
able
the
to change the code to bypass this service that they're trying to implement? Like it's going to be very very difficult, I think.
yeah, and
And
there is a
what about old
slicer.
printers? Are you just going to buy an old printer to do it that doesn't have that code
But
in it?
that's the point. Like if they're truly going to go all out and enforce such a overstep of authority, and frankly a moronic move because they they don't understand the problem they are fixing, right? Like yeah, maybe they go after the firmware too. Maybe they go after Clipper. Maybe they right like maybe they go after Marlin.
Let's
Um,
stifle in innovation as much as possible, because that'll stop the bad guys.
well, it's not, and but it's not the first piece of technology they haven't understood, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, if you even look at home computers, at one point they thought they were the root of all evil and they wanted to overregulate everything, which they have. Congratulations.
Rock
Net
and roll.
net
It's
net
right. Like it
neutrality is
every generation has fought this battle. Like you got to ban gyrating hips. Because that's the devil. And now VCRs, it's you got to ban them because it can do whatever. Well, you know, there's always a technology, and then there's always someone who wants
But
to stop that technology to save something else or
mhm.
whatever.
So Dominic had a really good point, and it kind of flew by a little bit. Why aren't we? So, like, if assuming 3D printers are the root of all evil, and they can't print something that's actually more than one use and go, why are we not going after the machining equipment? A
Mhm. Oh,
lathe, right? Like stuff
it's
that
yeah.
milling, like then, and maybe that's on the agenda next. I don't know. But the one thing I do know is stuff like this never actually is effective for the people that want to use it
Mhm.
for that purpose. It will only serve to make the general population's printing experience bad.
Yeah. If someone's gonna do something bad, it's unfortunate, but they're gonna do whatever it takes to do something bad. Like, and it may not be a 3D printer. They'll use some, like you said, they'll use something else, right? It doesn't. Bad people are bad people.
Yep.
Majority of us are good people, and we're not going to do those bad things. So,
Well, even if we're not good people, we still live
or we're
within
not
that.
stupid people.
Yeah, we're not stupid people. We live within the societal like norms. Like
Yeah,
like to be a citizen in a society, you agreed to live. Like I can't just throw my garbage on the neighbor's lawn. Like there's just certain
yeah,
like rules, and some of them are written down, some of them are just understood.
yeah,
But again, it's always the one country that rattles the saber and screws off everybody else.
yeah. Well,
Um
I don't know if we need to say too much more on that. What do you think?
oh, I think there's more to
We could
say,
probably
but
go for the full hour, I'm sure,
we
but
could well, anything after this is like a rant. The one thing I will say is if you do live in Canada, there is a bill not specifically for 3D printers, but tabled right now. I think it's in the House. But I think it's Bill C8. But it would give the government oversight to tell an ISP to take a device from a location if it was a threat. So, like, well, there's lots of weird things happening in everybody. I just wanted to bring that one up.
yeah.
But yeah, that's this one's done. The other one, it's a housekeeping thing because last week, I think, or week before, Greg turned on Discord. So if you go to www.3dmakeit or Patreon/3dmakeit, you can like join the free version and get on.
Yes.
Um, However, Discord is starting facial recognition stuff. um, and
Okay.
so they're going to want to be, you have to show them a government ID or they use your face to try to do like an age verification. So I don't know how many people are comfortable doing that. Maybe we could have a chat about it on, ironically, Discord. It kicks in March. So if anybody wants to weigh in on it, there's a few other options out there.
Is that for new members, or is that for all
Everybody.
members are going to have to kind of reprove that they're human and not a bot? Is that what the whole plan is? Is it's to prove that you're not like
No,
a
so the
bot?
problem, if you, the Discord has an issue, and the issue is it's used a lot for grooming and trafficking and all that stuff. And so the idea behind what they're doing now is for you to actually verify, yes, I am over 18. No, I'm not, and they can restrict the groups you join.
Mhm. Okay.
But considering how they've been trying to sell all of our, like they tried to sell their data to Microsoft. They tried to, so like it's not, there's split decision, but it doesn't feel good. But like maybe we should have a chat about it and see what we want to do as a
Sure.
group. And we can chat about that. Ironically on Discord. You have a thing on here. A
I
thing.
put I well, do we want to do the thing that we talked about on last night, or do we want to do the last one on the list?
There's two on the list.
No, but the last one. Do you want to do this one
Oh, I'll do
or
both of
first,
them.
or do you
Yeah,
want to do this one
do
first?
the last one first. The last one
Okay.
first.
All right. So I thought this was interesting. So everyone kind of knows that, you know, Prusa Slicer basically acquired Slick 3R, and then it became Prusa Slicer, and that's kind of the de facto that everyone was using. And then Orca forked, off of Prusa Slicer, and then a lot of people forked off of Orca. And so what's interesting is there's a new company out there, and I've got it on my shared screen if you want to show it up.
Oh
Uh,
man, I would love to. I did it.
Oozebot launches pre-flight slicer, and so what they've done is they took kind of like Orca did. They took Prusa slicer as their base, and then they um, modified it enough that they felt they had to fork it because they've actually done a lot of work to make it 64-bit, and they've changed a lot of the architecture under it. So don't know if this is gonna take off, but it's a they've got done a number of things that so they've worked it over and made sure that it's true 64-bit. They've changed the stack in behind. They've reworked what's the arcane engine. They
Mm-hmm.
reworked that and kind of changed it. So these are the key highlights here. It uses less RAM. The Athena perimeter generator, that's what they took um, the arcane engine and kind of worked it, because again that was open source, and then
Mm-hmm.
they reworked it. So they they've done a lot of things in here to that sound pretty interesting. So it'll once right now it's on GitHub,
Mm-hmm.
so you can go to GitHub here and download it and whatnot. So it's definitely, you know interesting that what they've done with it. Um, I just don't know if it'll take off. It might, but it's been a while since someone kind of didn't just port the previous um, slicer
Mm-hmm.
and actually took it and started reworking it. So pre-flight, something to maybe look at if you're looking at stuff. They their website is just a sign up for notification of when they're going to have updates. But yeah, so I thought it was pretty kind of interesting. So we've got it's on alpha or pre-flight version 9.4 is what it is right now. Um, and there's Apple, there's a zip file. So they're just in the early phases of it, but I thought it was interesting. So what are your thoughts, David?
It looks interesting. I feel um it would be nice for a company to be the one developing some of the stuff. Like Orca is just, a project on its own, and sometimes the development slows down a little bit. So a company behind it is good. I think though, to get into the slicer space, like just in general, um, it would be you
It's
have to
difficult
stand
from the
out.
ground up,
Yeah.
right? It's really difficult from the ground up. We've seen a couple people try, but yeah,
Well, just take like say Bamboo Studio as an example. if you have a Bamboo Lab printer, you could use Orca and then it can see your printer, but why would you? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Bamboo
Yep.
Studio. So I feel
And
that's the
Bamboo,
thing they got to overcome is just that like the branded slicers are getting pretty good.
yeah. And Bamboo is a fork of Orca, which is
One
which is a fork of Prusa.
is Bamboo the fork or was Orca
Mhm.
this fork?
No. So Orca was first, which was a fork of Prusa. And that's why these guys went all the way back to Prusa and then forked it from there. So yeah. So Bamboo's a fork of Orca. So when Orca does, a merge or whatever and whatnot, then it can roll in and so on. And sometimes they have to backport to Orca when they want Orca to have a feature that Bamboo added, kind of thing. So it's kind of confusing.
Yeah. And I mean, but and welcome to open source, right? Like that's
Right?
that's the
Yeah.
that's the conundrum is it's like it's great, right? Like I was looking at it was called Caliber Web, and then Caliber, their book management stuff, but like there's there was like a fork of a fork of a fork in one of them, and it's like I was reading the topic and he's like, man, open source is the best. I worked this and made it do this, and it's like, yeah, I guess that's really good. But the problem is like sometimes people don't test their
Yeah.
test the forks. They just think, oh, I'll just use this library, it'll be fine. But yeah, no, I think as promised, I like the new layer generation and that kind of stuff for sure. Um, so it'd be nice to see.
The next one, this was you brought this up last night when we were chatting.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll let
Um,
you take away.
it's ironic because we were just talking about this on Wednesday,
Yes, we
and we
were.
found out it on Friday or so or whenever that was. So, Thingiverse has been bought by My Mini Factory, which could be a great thing or a bad thing. I'm always interested in how this is just like a side note. But like I was always interested how IP worked that way because like there's a bunch of models that have like Creative Commons attached to them and that was uploaded to Thingiverse. But now my mini factory owns it.
Right?
So maybe they're gonna get rid of all the ads that make it almost impossible for it to be used.
Yep.
Um,
Or all the ads will now be for my mini factory.
so it looks like I mean, and that's true. Like, it very much feels like they're gonna keep like. So if you don't know my mini factory or haven't been there in a while, like they've gone to a lot of paid models, and a lot of them are like fantasy and that kind of stuff.
So it's kind of
Um,
like the Etsy of 3D printing.
yeah. So and you could pay to print off of it at one point. I don't know if you still can, but like my mini factory, it's a place where people creators used to go when they wanted to have like their models and have it paid for. I think of Devin Montez as an example there. Like he'd have some free stuff, he'd have some not so free stuff. Um, but further to that, there is also like an open house happening. It's on February 17th at 10 a.m. in the morning, which is convenient time for all of us midweek. But if you have questions and or wanna wanna just see what their deal is, yeah, there's a link if you go to Thingiverse now. There's a banner along the top that kind of gives you the invite. Kind of. Somebody actually print a hurdy-gurdy? That's impressive. Oh yeah, laser cut. Cool. But yeah, so you can go if you wanted to be part of the
Q&A.
Q&A. They invite everybody there. It'll
Make your
be
voice
interesting.
heard.
Yeah, I doubt it. Just just throwing it out there. I don't think that works.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely something that's it could be exciting, but I feel like what'll happen is like the My Mini Factory property will be just for the paid models, and then when you post a free model, it might end up on.
Yeah.
But like Greg mentioned the other day, Thingiverse is a long in the tooth product that's been here forever that originally started for laser cutting and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Laser and CNC, right? Those are the two things that it
Mhm.
started at way back in the day.
So there could be it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. So that's on the horizon.
Well, and I could see that, this kind of was inevitable that the consolidation would happen, because now you got you pointed out Thangs is like an aggregator. Then
Mm.
you've got Creality has their space, Prusa has their space. Every Bamboo has their space with models. Everyone was started by stealing other people's stuff and then built up their kind of inventory of models, which is now on all the sites. And so it was kind of inevitable that this would eventually happen, where it starts to consolidate.
Yeah, and well, it's just one of those things like, and we've seen it over time. One company buys another company, buys another company.
Yep.
Sometimes they go out of business, sometimes they don't. So
Yep.
I mean that's good for them. um
Well, the original whole topic of this episode was going to be TinkerCAD.
it sure was. Um I'm just trying to see if I can like sec. Hold on everybody. I just gotta
Yes, and
do a thing.
Dominic pointed out Yegi was out there before Things and whatnot, and it still is.
Yeah, but Yankee, I mean, for
Yegi
sure.
Yegi's kind of janky sometimes when you try to search it.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes. All the times. Here, I'm going to do a quick screen share. And we will just start talking about this. We got a few minutes left. Let's just do this button work. So both Barry and I have this up. This is the Thingiverse. Or not Thingiverse, TinkerCAD. They both had T's.
They do both have T's.
What is this large and thing back here? What is this? Oh, hold on. It's not fit to the screen. Fit to the screen. I have to unlock it, and then I can do it. Click the button.
Mine's fit to the screen.
Mine will be in a second. Once I actually find it. Come on. Anyway, it's zoomed in on the right parts. That's good. So when we talk about TinkerCAD, TinkerCAD is one of the most easy, accessible CAD to use. Now, when you first sign in, you got to make an account. It's of note that you can just check out like the Tinker categories, which are what you can do. So there's some programming, that they can take you through on the website. There's some circuit design, which is actually kind of fun and handy. Gets you into breadboards and Arduinos and stuff. But what we're here for today is the 3D design stuff. Now, the 3D design has a few different perks and features, but like what we're going to worry about uh, is the wrecking ball right there. That's the anyway. The
No.
tutorials. So like when you first start in TinkerCAD, it can be a little overwhelming because there's just so much going on. So they've built many tutorials, right?
Yeah, and they break them up quite nicely into like learn the basics, beginner projects, intermediate projects too.
Mm,
Like it, so you can do everything from how to move stuff around
yeah.
to very advanced.
Now, for some of our users, most of the first half is trivial. Raymond sent me a very good link earlier that was um, fillets and chamfers easy. So TinkerCAD is what we call primitive modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you see is like made. Losing my headphones. Hold on. There we go. Everything you see is made out of like shapes.
Yep.
So the first thing you start working with is cubes and how to move them and move them around. We're not going to start there because boring. But let's see if we can. So like the chess pawn's a fairly good um, tutorial because it gets you into grouping, right? So it kind of says this is what we're going to build, and then you can go through the steps on this side.
Yep.
Now, I mean, you could completely ignore that and do your own thing, if you choose. Like, if you want, I'm gonna make a pawn, and you're like, okay, well, I think there's a cylinder maybe, and there's probably like a upside down this maybe. Uh, but you can see like the thought process here isn't so much of like I'm going to build, and then it's like, am I right about the cylinder? No, it's probably two cones. Then I can lock that cone. I can make a new cone, and I can flip this cone around. Now, I am just free forming it here. Okay, to be clear. Everything's floating above, which is awesome. I just want this one down. Please go down there. So like again, super basic. Um, but
But the nice thing about the tutorials is they give you little tips and tricks that just
mm,
dragging stuff around you may not realize.
well, and
It
that's
may
the
not be
thing.
quite as intuitive.
Yeah, because like technically that bottom one looks like this, and it's like taller, right? And then that's way too tall. So like if you go through, it's like okay, drag a cylinder to your workspace, which is ironically what I started with, right? So like they give you a base for the project. I will say that like so, and you can see like they're like put the cylinder here, dummy, and you're like okay, put a cylinder there. Yeah, the cylinder has arrived. There. So I got my cylinder. Wow. And then you can keep going. Scale it smaller to the height of 3 millimeters. So we're clearly building the base. Right. So as you're going, if you're following along, like drag the workspace to the drag a workspace to the top of the cylinder. So then you hit it says shortcut W. So you can create workspaces over here, or I can create other workspaces and hit W. And then I just drag it to the top of the pop. And now you can see I have like another work plane. So let's do this. today so that we are productive in the next one. And we don't have rants next time, probably, okay?
Well, unless someone does something dumb.
Dang it, that happens all the time. So let's when you start one, you can always come in and delete it, and then you can restart the tutorial. What do we want to do, Greg, for next week?
Well, yeah. So how about
Anybody.
in chat, which of the tutorials do you want us to go through? Like
Yeah,
how we have a bunch here listed. Um, you
pizza.
know,
Oh, pizza.
there's a number of tutorials. Do you want to keep it basic? So the one thing we could do is whatever we choose in TinkerCAD, we can use that as our base model that we're going to do in the other programs.
Yes, that was the idea.
So what do you guys think? What object in the tutorials do you want us to build?
Yeah,
Do you want us the we've got the basic, intermediate. Do you want us to go advanced and build the spaceship? What would you like us to do?
spaceship is advanced. So,
Apparently, or it's under space. I think there's math
yes,
and there's space.
yeah. So like, there's lots of projects. So like, what I would say is, if you want to follow along or if you're to use it, you can go to TinkerCAD, learn designs. That's the base for the tutorials, and then shoot your opinion into the discords, and then yeah, we will start there and then work our way through TinkerCAD, Onshape, Fusion, and FreeCAD for the ones. Let's build a wrench that we can use in space. Okay, a space wrench.
Like space wrenches are cool. Can we put rocket engines on it?
That how else are you gonna build a wrench and send it to space? So there is a wrench
There's the
tutorial,
there's
kinda.
the pizza.
I know, I saw it and I'm like,
I
I'm
like the
hungry now.
pizza.
So this one's a little cheating because they give you like the outline already. So, and the idea with these is they're like kind of like the next tutorial steps off from the one before. So you can start getting an idea of how all of those skills work together. Um the one thing with TinkerCAD that being a web browser, they take away some of the shortcuts on the mouse. So versus Fusion, you do get locked in a little more.
Well, you can choose front, back, left, right, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff
you can
too.
do that. It's just you can't use the right click menu.
Oh, that's true.
Um,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Really,
Yeah.
is the right click menu not there? How about something that would get flagged? How about something that would get flagged by the new legislation? Okay, touche.
Touche.
Let's see
Too
what
soon.
what's the closest looking thing to this dolphin? This dolphin will get flagged. Just kidding.
Well, we'll come up with one that we're gonna do
Yep.
for the next one with your guys' help. Like put it in Discord and whatnot, and then we'll or in the comments of the video too. That works as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
will look at both, and then we'll have a model that we're gonna do, and we'll have it for next week.
Yeah. So, but again, if we all choose, we can follow along and stuff. Um, how about yeah? Um, yeah. So I think we'll leave it there for this week. But yeah, let's keep an eye out for a few of those things we were talking about, including, well, maybe we will have to have a Discord chat as well. So
We can design something from my mini factory.
I'm gonna make this work. Oops. All right, friends.
All right.
Until next week, we'll catch you later.
And thanks again, Gary, for the tour.
Have a good one.
Bye.